Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting into order. It's Monday, November the 17th, and we're at in the council chambers for the Township of Adelaide Metcalfe. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Councillor Kingma?
I'd like to declare on item 8C concerning the council grant program. I authored the application that is being recommended by staff.
Okay, thank you. And that's noted in the minutes. All right. You've had a chance to see the agenda. We have a recommendation that the agenda for November 17th, 2025 meeting of council be approved. Mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor Kingma, seconded by Councillor McKinnon. All in favor, and that's carried. And I'm sorry, I neglected to mention we're all here and present except for Councillor Brody, who is combining, and that's okay. You've had a chance to read the minutes of the previous meeting. Are there any errors or omissions? Seeing none, then, we have a recommendation that the minutes of the Adelaide Metcalfe meeting of council held on November 3rd, 2025 be adopted as printed. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor Kingma. All in favor, and that's carried. You have the consent agenda in front of you. Is there anything in that consent agenda you want removed for discussion? Okay, seeing none, then we have a recommendation that items 6A through 6H listed under the heading of consent agenda for November 17th, 2025 be adopted as recommended. Mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor McKinnon, seconded by Councillor Kingma. All in favor, and that's carried. Next item on the agenda is the correspondence. We have a request from the City of Brantford to support a resolution regarding Ontario Airport Capital Assistance Program. From LaSalle Police Service Board, we have a request to support a resolution regarding equitable provincial support for municipally policed communities. We have a request from the municipality of Wawa to support a resolution regarding rent protection for tenants. And from the village of Thornlow, we have a request to support a resolution for the OPP board's funding, which would be similar to 7B. Okay, then we have a recommendation that council receive and file correspondence items 7A through 7D. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor McKinnon, seconded by Councillor Campbell. All in favor, and that's carried. Next up on the agenda are staff reports, and I'll turn this portion of the meeting over to our treasurer, Johnny Pereira, for the 2025 year-end audit planning report.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. Through to council. As outlined in the Municipal Act, council must appoint an auditor responsible for auditing the accounts and transactions of its municipality, and auditors must express an opinion on its financial statements. In 2021, an RFP for audit services was issued, and Graham Scott Enns was awarded the contract for audit years from 2021 through 2025. This report speaks to the overall timeline of the 2025 audit and includes two documents: the audit planning letter, which outlines the scope, timing, and key risk areas, and the engagement letter confirming the terms of the audit. Both documents are standard documents received annually and require the mayor to sign off on behalf of the township. The total cost of the 2025 audit, which was included in the 2025 approved budget, is $25,800 plus HST. The interim audit is beginning this week, with the final audit fieldwork and financials to be completed of the spring of 2026. The recommendation is to receive the 2025 audit planning and engagement letters from Graham Scott Enns, and that council authorize the mayor to sign the 2025 audit planning and engagement letter on behalf of the township. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. Are there any questions? Okay, seeing none, then I'm not going to reread the recommendation that Johnny's just stated. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Counselor Kingma, seconded by Counselor Campbell. All in favor, and that's carried. Okay, next up is the cost of living adjustment for 2026. And once again, I'll turn this portion of the meeting over to our treasurer.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. Through to council. As a part of the regular maintenance of the township's three compensation programs, municipal employers regularly age their programs yearly using a cost of living factor. The three compensation programs here at the township are the staff, council, and the volunteer firefighters compensation programs. The township does use two primary inputs in recommending the cost of living adjustments for council's consideration. The first is desk research on COLA adjustments approved by area municipalities. And second is looking at the Consumer Price Index, or CPI. Based on desk research, 1.7 and 2% were common cost of living increases for 2026 by comparative municipalities who have council approved rates and responded to their request. So in the report, it did outline only two municipalities that had theirs approved. The Ontario September to September Consumer Price Index was 2% for Ontario. And to remain competitive in the municipal marketplace while focusing on employee attraction and retention and continuing to move the township to the well-oiled machine philosophy, staff is recommending aging the township's staff, council, and volunteer firefighters compensation program by 2%. This would have a 2026 budget impact of approximately $27,300. In addition, staff is also looking again for pre-budget approval to continue with the realized efficiencies in the year-end payroll process to minimize retroactive adjustments come January 1st. I would kindly ask council to consider the recommendation outlined in the report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. Are there any questions? Comments? Okay, seeing none then, we have a recommendation that the staff wage grid, council remuneration, and the volunteer firefighter compensation program be adjusted by a cost of living increase of 2% for 2026 and receive pre-budget approval. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor McKinnon, seconded by Councillor Kingma. All in favor, and that is carried. Okay, next up, Johnny, you're on deck again. It's the part of the staff report is on the council grant program.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. Through to council. The 2026 council grant program was available to the community to apply between October 1st and 31st. The purpose of this program is to provide municipal funds or other forms of assistance in limited amounts to community groups and organizations that warrant municipal support. The township did receive two applications this year. To ensure a fair and consistent review, all applications were graded using a standardized application review process. All applications need to ensure they met all eligibility criteria listed within the council grant policy and were graded accordingly. The first application received was for the Strathroy Hometown Festival, requesting $10,000 in financial assistance to support the annual community festival. Based on the review, this request would be ineligible as the organization and event are based outside the township of Adelaide Metcalfe. Kerwood Adelaide Metcalfe Optimist Club requested $5,900 in financial assistance for various community events. In addition to the financial request, in-kind contributions included ball diamonds, pavilion rentals, and printer use for promotional purposes. After reviewing and factoring in the fees and charges bylaw for the various in-kind contributions, staff found that the in-kind contributions exceeded the allowance under the policy. Staff recommends taking a hybrid approach here and reducing the cash request by the overage of in-kind contributions. So the total what that staff is recommending is $4,500 for the 2026 council grant for the Optimist Club, and keeping the in-kind contribution as outlined in the application itself. It is important to note that council at any time can direct staff to revisit the council grant program as a whole. I would kindly ask council to consider the recommendation outlined in the report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Johnny. Are there any questions? Councillor Campbell?
Johnny, this is just out of curiosity and not having seen the program in past years. In past years, how much impact on the budget would this program have?
Through the mayor to Councilor Campbell. It's similar, very similar amount last year. I think the grant was maybe 4750 last year. That was a total impact on the budget. But I believe the grant policy states that a club can apply for up to $10,000 per application.
Any other questions? I'd just like to comment that I think that this is a worthwhile organization to support. Most people in the community know, but if you don't, I'm going to tell you, they do a lot of work in the community. Their soccer program is second to none. Nobody pays. None of those kids have to pay to participate in that program. So they do incredible work. They stepped up for the fireworks night and had our back to, give away free hot dogs and not just give them away, but cook them and clean up and everything else. So I really appreciate everything they do in the community. If there's nothing else, then we have a recommendation that the request from Kerwood Adelaide Metcalfe Optimist Club be approved and granted pre-budget approval in the amount of $4,500 in accordance with the council grants policy. And further, that the request from Kerwood Adelaide Metcalfe Optimist Club be approved for in-kind contributions. And further, that staff be directed to prepare correspondence and issue payment to the above noted organization in January 2026. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor McKinnon, seconded by Councillor Campbell. All in favor? And that's carried. Next item on our agenda are the tender results for bridge number 4 on Catesville Drive, and I'll turn this portion of the meeting over to our Public Works Manager, Coulter Cahill.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. In the 2025 capital budget, council allocated $313,000 towards the rehab of Bridge 4 on Catesville Drive. This project was recommended following the most recent inspection completed under the Ontario Structure Inspection Manual. In collaboration with Spreed Associates and County Procurement Services, this tender for the Catesville Bridge rehab was issued on October 16th and it closed on November 6th. The successful bidder for the bridge number 4 project was Vandenberg Construction Inc. based on the lowest price. Upon council approval, staff will proceed toward the contract to award the contract to Vandenberg Construction Inc. and coordinate with the contractor to establish a construction schedule. Although this project was originally approved in the 2025 capital budget, construction will now be carried out in early 2026 due to some delays. The work is expected to take approximately 4 to 6 weeks to complete. Staff will work with the contractor to schedule a late winter, early spring start, avoiding winter weather conditions and ensuring the project is completed prior to planting season. The total approved budget for this project is $313,000, inclusive of engineering. The low tender submission from Vandenberg Construction totaled $136,330 plus HST. So $154,052.90, including HST. When combined with engineering costs and signage requirements, the total projected expenditure is approximately $175,330 plus HST. This results in the township being under budget by approximately $137,670, representing significant savings within the approved capital allocation. A portion of the engineering costs will be incurred in 2025, with the remaining expenditures realized in 2026. My recommendations in the report, but I'll open up for any questions if there is any. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Coulter. Are there any questions? I'm just thinking with like the 137,000 extra, I guess is a good way to put it, from that we're picking up there. That's not a true extra because you've indicated that there's costs for 2026 for engineering, so that would come out of that 137. We'd just carry that forward, would we? The surplus? That would, if it was budgeted for 313 and you're telling us we came in under budget 137,000. So, and there's gonna be more engineering costs for that same bridge in 2026. Have I understood that right or wrong?
Oh, yeah, Mayor Clark, we aren't just gonna budget for the exact amount that we have to carry forward instead of
Okay.
keeping that 313, but yeah, there is gonna be a little bit of engineering, just for inspections and what have you for, after they're completed the project, because there's quite a bit of work underneath with the beams and
Yeah.
so, there'll be a little bit of engineering, and then we'll just budget exactly what the project came in at.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's not pretty work. You don't see it all, but you got, it all costs
Yeah.
money, right? So, yeah. Okay, anything else for Coulter? Okay, seeing none, then we have a recommendation that the Township Public Works Manager be authorized and directed to award RFTAM 2025-07 to Vanderburg Construction, Inc. in the amount of $136,330 plus HST for Bridge 4 rehabilitation on Catesville Drive, and that the Township Public Works Manager and Clerk be authorized to execute on behalf of the Township of Adelaide Metcalfe all agreements and other documents necessary to implement this award. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Counselor Campbell, seconded by Counselor Kingma. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, at this time, we have a recommendation to go into closed session at 7:17 PM pursuant to section 2392 of the Municipal Act 2001, as amended, to discuss the following matters: a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board regarding an unopened road allowance on Langdon Drive. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Counselor Campbell, seconded by Counselor McKinnon. All in favor? And that's carried. We'll now go into closed.